the lab. Hey, I'm back. And today we're gonna talk about Princess the Hopeful. Yay! I hope I've cropped my name off of this top thing. I think I have. Let me check OBS. I probably should have checked this before I started, but that's just tradition here. I did! Yay, okay. Perfect. My eye tracking might be a little weird today because I'm wearing my glasses. I am sick today. I have the tummy hurt. I've actually been having enough of a tummy hurt that I'm gonna go see a real human doctor on Friday about the tummy hurt and see if we can fix my tummy hurt. Sorry, I was having some water. So that's what's been up with Daisy. So this might be a little bit of a shorter stream. But I'm talking about Princess the Hopeful and the Princess the Hopeful actual play campaign I want to run. And all of that. So let's actually go here. It's my Leonardo. I love this thing. I love my infinite canvas. So this is kind of how I want things to go. I'm going to talk about my little experiment, what it is, what my evil plans are. If you watch this video and you're inspired to like make a VTuber actual play of a different tabletop RPG or anything really, and you want to like use anything I talk about here, feel free to. I'd actually be very flattered. It would actually make me blush and giggle and go tee hee 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 hee. So please do so. I love gaming, I love tabletop RPGs, and I love VTubing. And I think one of the intentions behind this channel that I honestly haven't really been living up to because I've kind of been just focused on getting used to streaming is kind of, you know, using VTubing as a medium, I guess, for different stuff. And, you know, kind of throwing it at the wall and seeing what we can make of the medium beyond just being an anime girl and like doing a cute little like lolly voice or whatever, even though I don't do a voice. I know people like do a voice sometimes I make my accent a little more like American so it's easier to understand me, but I don't do a voice. Today is one of those days that you might hear what I really sound like when I talk, and I'm not making sure to enunciate super well. Hi Senko, you made it! So yeah. So what's this experiment? What do I want to do? Basically, let's go down here. Is I want to do... It's midnight. Well, I hope you can, you know, get some sleep. So the idea behind the experiment, if we can look at my little scuffed doodle here. I feel like the other stream's way more early in the day for me. I'm sorry. The VOD's gonna be up on YouTube, so you can watch the VOD. Okay. So basically, like, the overlay idea, and I guess this is where the main experiment vibes come from, is there's basically gonna be 4 Warudo If I don't write respond, I passed out. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming. If you pass out, that's fine. I won't be offended, please. You know, please sleep. It is late over there. But thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. So the whole idea is down here at the bottom, these 4 little dots. These are gonna be our players. They're going to be in a Warudo room together. Let me show you Warudo actually, since I can. This is me. This is Daisy, double daisies. Double daisies. In order to like make the scene as light as possible, I am just like planning on doing a green screen and also planning on making the models myself, mainly so I can like combine meshes properly and make sure that the model is as light as possible. I also want to learn, and this is just like my own personal thing. Daisy, whoop! I went into the ether. I'm sorry. Daisy derailment. I do also want to learn how to paint blend shapes. My goodness, not blend shapes. That's not the word I was thinking of. What's the word I was thinking of? Skin weights. Paint skin weights better. As you can see, there's kind of some skin weight issues over here on my model. So I am gonna have to learn how to fix those before I lock in and make the player models, but that'll be, or I can just learn while I'm doing the player models. That works too. So it's just gonna be like a Warudo room with a green screen, and you're gonna get green screened on the bottom, kind of where I am. I need to move myself actually, because I moved a little too far to the middle. There we go. Gonna be there. Your VRoid will be talking when you talk. You only need a webcam. Warudo is free. It does webcam tracking. I'm actually using a really like bad webcam. That's why I don't have hand tracking on, because my webcam's really bad and it doesn't do the hand tracking very well. So you can turn the hand tracking off. And I know a couple of other tricks to like optimize the program a little bit and like change the GPU settings. So hopefully I can get this to work on even the potatoiest of potato PCs. So anyway, 4 PCs in the bottom, and then this top thing, I want it to be like kind of like a stage, especially because if you've played the storyteller system before, you know a lot of like there's always a bit where it's going to be like actual play is like live theater. That I feel like that's in every tabletop RPG guidebook. So I kind of want to lean into that and make this kind of like stage looking frame thing. And over the top, kind of peeking over, is the storyteller, which will be me. Hi. I will be making this a live 2D model. And I do plan to like stream that and show the process of that. And again, if you want to steal my flow, and you think that's cool, and you're like, I want to make a storyteller live 2D model for my actual play, do it. Do it. Please. Steal my flow. Bar for bar. Word for word. Hit for hit. Do it. Be very flattering. So the idea is that, and all of these PCs too, I'll just show you my toggles, will have like different, instead of stealing the flow, I will steal you base. Base Senko. We'll have different like little expression toggles. These are just what comes in VRoid DOS 5, so that's what you're gonna get. And the storyteller will also have a couple of different toggles. I don't really know yet. I kind of like put this presentation together in a couple of days because I was really excited, and I was like, wait, this is a project that I can do, and it's really exciting, and magical girls, magical girls, magical girls. So I really don't have all the kinks worked out yet. So the idea behind the storyteller model will be there'll be different like expressions, and they'll be based on like kind of like feeder masks, but I want them like more pretty anime girl themed, if that makes sense. It's hard to make what's in my brain come out of my mouth. But the mask reminds me of Puppet, kind of a little bit. So there could be like different toggles, like one's like the storyteller crying, and then we have like storyteller neutral, and then like, do I have an angry face? I don't have an angry face. Slacking, pretend there's an angry face. Pretend there's an angry face here. Quickly guys, pretend there's an angry face. Anyway, different toggles for the storyteller, and you know, and use VTubing like that. And you aren't allowed to be angry. I'm not. As the storyteller, I'm not allowed to be angry. Nope. No anger. Cut that off. What toggle do I need? I need to get rid of this toggle immediately. Throw it in the trash. Anyway, for the sake of immersion, I will be turning off follower notifications for these streams, as well as the sticker extension. But that's only going to be for the actual play. It'll be on for everything else. So those are kind of my evil plans. Those are my evil plans. Become anime. And I also think this fits with genre because like Princess the Hopeful is based on magical girls and anime, and oh look, you're a little anime girl. Don't you want to be an anime girl? Don't you want to be an anime boy? Don't you want to be a magical girl? Am I doing the propaganda right? I think I'm doing the propaganda right. Anyway, let's actually do campaign setting and story seed first. Let's not do this in the order I made. Did I not? Brother, I really am slacking today. So this is Sylvan Grove, Kansas. I've never been there. But I think anybody who's played Chronicles of Darkness, anybody who's played any sort of tabletop RPG like this, there's a time-honored tradition of going onto Google Maps and finding a small town in the middle of nowhere that has a cool name, and then saying, that's where my campaign is. This is Sylvan Grove, Kansas. That's where my campaign is. According to Google, they have like 300 people. It's not a very big town. Perfect setting for a World of Darkness game. So what's going on? What's the story seed? I am a silly Billy, and I meant to copy paste my story seed, the screenshot I took of my story seed, into here, and then I didn't. So let me do that real quick. Oh my goodness, I tweet so much. Twitter. Okay, there we go. Oh, and I forgot to tweet that I was live. The real reason I have Twitter. Oh, brother. Let me tweet on my phone, because it's easier. Ugh. Magical girl propaganda live now. Shoot. I'll just give them my YouTube. This is, I promise, I'm usually more organized than this, I swear. I swear to goodness, to everything good and holy, I am. Where is it? Is it here? There I am. There I am. Copy link. Paste. There we go. Posted. Posted. I did the thing. I did the thing. I did the thing. And now I put myself too far this way. Ugh. I'm like here. I need to be like here. Here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Anyway, the story seed. This is a screenshot of what I wrote. So, a small town, that's Sylvan Grove, was once the site of a campaign about 10 years ago to defeat some Chronicles of Darkness, World of Darkness baddie. I'm not spoiling the campaign for you. It's been 10 years since the campaign, by the way, is what the at least it's what Dreams calls a group of magical girls getting together to solve a problem. Crystal, we're playing Crystal just because it's easier, and it's easier. That's really it. Dreams, there's too much numbers, too much thinking in Dreams. We're playing Crystal. I just saw somebody drop off of a YouTube, so I guess I said we're playing on Crystal, and they were like, nope, not playing Crystal. You know, I appreciate a Dreams loyalist. I'm not a Dreams loyalist, but I appreciate it. Anyway, we're playing Crystal because it's easier. So it's been about 10 years since that group of magical girls have defeated the evil. And most of them left. And the only person left is the one magical girl who insists that she's still the leader of a non-existent campaign. Due to her rigidness, paranoia, and general failure to keep attention on the issue, the cult has gained enough power to put... I wrote 5, it's actually 4. I thought Warudo had room for 5. I was wrong. It has room for 4. Whoops. The cult has gained enough power to put 4 princes or princesses and their loved ones in enough danger that they blossom, which basically means that they unlock their powers by facing this problem. And that will be what the first session is about. It'll be unlocking your powers. Ooh. This newly formed group of Nakama, that is the word the book uses, must learn together to navigate this world of politics and fight against a cult that most other nobility are convinced no longer exists, is no longer an issue. And then this is drop by Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Hi guys. So that's the story hook. When building a character for this, now we're gonna go into what I'm requesting of people who want to play. When building a character for this, you can be anybody in Sylvan Grove. Sylvan Grove is about a town of 300 people. So I imagine if you want to be a character who lives in Sylvan Grove, and has lived in Sylvan Grove, you'd probably know a little bit about the campaign. You wouldn't know that there was a supernatural baddie behind it, but it's a small town, word travels fast, and you'd know that about 10 years ago, Sylvan Grove was having some environmental issues because, you know, you're kind of rural, you're out of the way. When pipes go bad, when things leak, when there's problems. You're not really the type of place that calls the government first. So you guys were having some like environmental issues, and there were some like bugs in the water or something, and this big group of like out of town scientists came and they dealt with the problem, and most of them left, and the only one left of that group is Caroline Blanche, the NPC I will be creating today, who is now the local gym teacher. You don't know she's a magical girl. You wouldn't know any of that. But that's what you'd know if you're from Sylvan Grove. You can be anybody you want, but Sylvan Grove, we're starting the campaign in Sylvan Grove. It would probably be easiest to be from Sylvan Grove. But yeah, if you are, if you're somebody from the town, that's what you would. That's what you would know about the campaign and the lone magical girl. You wouldn't know that the supernatural is real. You wouldn't know any of that. You're just a normal person. Which brings me to designing characters. So I said, this is very scary. Jump scare, auga, character sheets, auga. This is from the back of the Princess the Hopeful Crystal Edition. It's available on Twitch.io, on itch.io. I put a link to it in the description. I put a couple of useful links down there. It's from the back of the book. It's a character sheet. The reason why I wanted to build NPC is because I actually don't have to do most of this math. I'm actually not going to do any of this math. Any of this math at all. Because she's an NPC. But I am going to use her to kind of explain like what I want when I say, you know, please have like a character in mind. So, first thing about magical girls is, I'm saying magical girls, this is gender neutral. You can play a boy. You're allowed to be a boy. But that's just the language Princess the Hopeful uses. It's the magical girl genre. I'm just gonna keep saying magical girls. I'm so sorry. But I am being gender inclusive when I say magical girl. So first of all, every magical girl is both an ordinary person and the magical girl they are. So this is Caroline Blanche. Is the storyteller. You can ignore concept and chronicle. The chronicle is this one. I mean, if you have like if you want to be like, she's a gym teacher, like she's a gym teacher, like gym teacher / lone hunter. And then a transformed name. Sailor Moon, obviously, is not Sailor Moon's government name. Caroline Blanche's government name is not, she's not running around in, you know, freaking spandex or whatever she wears going, I'm Caroline Blanche and I live in Sylvan Grove, you know, here's my zip code, this is my address, this is my house. You know, here's my ID. That's not what's happening. So you're gonna have a transformed name. Your character consciously, like, does not know what their transformed name is. But it kind of just, like, comes with the thing. You can play the transformed name differently. If you want to be like somebody who's really into anime and your character transforms and you're like, and my name is blah, and you just name yourself, like, go for it. If you don't want to have a transformed name and I come up with it, because magical girls are very flashy and you're gonna get a name whether you like it or not. People are gonna call you something. Be like the Caped Crusader over here. But we can do that. Whatever you want. I actually haven't thought about her transform name. I thought about everything else on this character concept, but I haven't thought about her transform name. Embassy is unimportant. That's the name for, like, different groups of magical girls that are in charge of different areas. An embassy. You don't need to fill that out. Chronicle, that's the campaign we're playing. Queen. Swords. Swords. She's a champion of swords. Oh my goodness, she's a champion of swords. Very stereotypical for those of you who know what I'm talking about. She's a champion of swords. So the reason I don't even know if I'm gonna decide her bonus affinity right now. I did say this was gonna be a shorter stream because I am feeling sick. But I am just trying to fill out the information I'd want you to fill out if you want to play. Drive and dread, that's important. So your drive as your character. Oh, wait. Let me talk about calling and queens. Wait. Hold up. Calling and queens. Okay, let's go here. So in Princess the Hopeful, blah, 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 blah. Your calling is basically your class. Okay? So you can be a champion. You're a fighty guy. Or a fighty gal. And you can get different dots and things depending on your class. So your fighty gals, you get strength for resolve. I think she actually is gonna take her extra dot in resolve. I said I wasn't gonna fill out her dots, but I'm a liar. How the magical girls work is essentially it's about like the nature of your character's soul. So a champion is you're a fighty gal or a fighty guy. You want to punch the problem. You're a warrior for justice, and the way you're going to protect the denizens of the world of darkness is by taking your magical girl's staff and bonking them over the head. That's the champion. The grace, you want to talk to people. The Pookie is misunderstood. I think in the world of darkness, actually, a grace is very important, right? Because let's say you have like 2 Sabbat vampires. Who are very like typical World of Darkness fatties. In the World of Dark, Chronicles of Dark, I use them very interchangeably. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm like this. I will be using I mean Chronicles of Darkness. I mean the new World of Darkness. I mean the Chronicles of Darkness, but I will be using them interchangeably. So I'm so sorry if you are somebody who's like into semantics like that. I think graces are important because in the World of Darkness, you can have 2 Sabbat vampires, right? And one could be, I don't know, Feodora from 1424, named after the most holy Theotokos, who enjoys, you know, general sadism and torturing people, and has been doing that for 600 years and enjoys that and is evil. And honestly, we need the champion to come punch her in the face. Pow, pow, pow. Now, let's say Feodora thought some college student was a cute emo boy. And I don't know, because she's a Samichi, because I decided that right now. She decided she's gotta have him. She sired him. And he's just along for the ride. He doesn't want to be here. He got, you know, bit in an alley, bit at a party, bit somewhere, embraced. Embraced into the Soviets. I'm sorry. I muted myself. I don't know how long I've been muted. I'm so sorry. I was yapping about different types of vampires, and about how in the World of Darkness you could have two like Sabbath baddies, and you could have terribly, irrevocably evil Feodora, who is just evil and bad and needs to be punched in the face, and you can have her little college student boy toy, who is just a dude, just a boy failure, truly. And yeah, he's doing this evil stuff, and we want him to stop doing the evil stuff. But we don't really need to kill him. I mean, like he is a dude. He is just a guy that, you know, that's a victim of this crazy woman the same way all these other people are a victim of this woman who needs to be punched in the face. And maybe he needs a little sympathy. Maybe he needs a little grace. So the grace is the calling that you talk to people. You're diplomat. You use your words. You use your words. And you help people out. That's a grace. Look at Diet Tanjiro. Look at Diet Tanjiro over here. I love the art in Crystal. I know I'm calling him Diet Tanjiro. It's because this is like illustrations of like cookie cutter graces. But yes, Tanjiro is a grace. Tanjiro is a grace, and he's also a magical boy. Sample oaths. I'll talk about oaths later. Mender, you're the healer. You're the healer of the party. Seeker, that's like our investigators. Also very important in the Chronicles of Darkness, because there's lots of stuff that we don't know. There's so much lore, and it's kind of like that by design, because it's like the supernatural world in World of Darkness is kind of supposed to be mind-boggling, so there's lots of lore. Right? There's lots of lore. There's lots of politicking. There's lots of, you know, keeping things hidden in Vampire. There's the Masquerade. There's the Technocracy in Mage. There's all the stuff werewolves have going on. It's kind of like, so part of being a magical girl is it's kind of like being a hunter, where you don't really have a lot of information or know-how. So seekers are important when figuring stuff out. While this campaign will have combat, it will also have some investigation and, you know, using a little bit of our brain power to figure out what's going on in the town. And, you know, Caroline Blanche is great. She is a champion. And maybe she might not be the best source of information. Maybe having a seeker character would be a good idea. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then the troubadour, I don't know how to say that. I don't speak French. It's your bard. It's your bard. So that is your calling. Those are your callings. You can ignore the bonus affinity if you want. And then your queens. So radiant queens only, please, if you know what that means. If you don't know what that means, I'm gonna give you a list. And you're gonna pick from the list I gave you. Just like how I gave you a list right now, I'm gonna give you another list. I'm sorry, I'm thirsty. Water. So let's give you another list. Again, I'm not gonna just read the book for you. You can donate like $5 if you want. You can also put in 0 and get it for free. Or you can donate more. So every princess has a queen. Unless you're going to be unaligned. I think for character creation, just picking a queen is easier. Queen of Currents. She's your intellectual gal. She is your intellectual gal. Your heart can show you where you need to go, but only your head can get there. She's your intellectual gal. She's a stream of knowledge. She's your intellectual gal, okay? I'm sorry if I'm rushing, but I really do not feel well. And I am, like, but I also want to finish this stream and, like, recruit people if you want to play in the campaign. I had 2 people who are interested. It's 4 players. And once I have all my players together, I'm gonna yeet you guys into a Discord and we're gonna do, like, a session 0 where we talk about the campaign and the party and do any balance reworking. If you need help with the stats and with the numbers, I'll help you with the stats, with the numbers, all of that. I'm a fan of doing a short test one-shot, just to, like, see how the party melds together and, you know, see how, not just the characters, but also, like, the players, me as a storyteller, seeing kind of what's important to you so I can use that later. Wink. All that type of stuff. Anyway, Queen of Currents. Well, and under each of these in the book, it gives you, like, little stuff about, like, character creation. And the stereotype section is what that brand of character thinks of the others. So, currents, knowledge, flowers, harmony. You want to be friends with everybody. Friendship is magic. You are Fluttershy. That's the Queen of Flowers. Harmony's embrace. You want to be baddies. You want to learn from people. Queen of Jewels. This is about traditions, particularly traditions in society and, like, doing things the proper way. Oh, each of the followers also has special names up here, but that's kind of unimportant. I think she's also called the Queen of Hearts in Dreams. So yeah, this is also a lot about, like, noblesse oblige and the idea of, like, yes, we are, you know, as nobles, as princesses, as princes, we have a responsibility, like, that sort of thing. Queen of Spades are our goofy little guys. Look at her. Look at her. I'm sorry to give you pronouns, ma'am, but look at her. It's a goofy little guy. Goofy little guy. Goofy little guys are important. Playing a goofy little guy is always an option. You can be a goofy little guy and a goofy little guy. You can be a spades troubadour. You can be a double goofy little guy. And And the Queen of Swords, violence. I'm sorry, what? No, I'm kidding. Actually, the Queen of Swords is about passion. And about feeling things very strongly and being passionate. And violence. What? And violence. The reason I'm making Blanche affiliated with the swords is actually because I think in order to be in her position, you have to be very passionate. Because the reason she's in that position is because she fundamentally believes Sylvan Grove is in danger. Sorry, I'm gonna move myself a little more. It's because she fundamentally believes Sylvan Grove is in danger. And because she's passionate about protecting people, because she's passionate about protecting people who don't have a voice and who don't, you know, really matter to like wider society, that's why she's been there for a decade. Because of her passion. Now, because of her affinity for punching things and not really thinking things through, she's isolated and she hasn't made, you know, as much headway as she would like. But at the end of the day, she's passionate about Sylvan Grove and she's passionate about protecting the people there. All right, drive and dread. Huh! Drive and dread. Okay. So your drive is what your magical girl is about. The book says about with a capital A, which I think is an appropriate way to say it. You see, the thing about having a system that's kind of like based off of anime, I'm actually gonna do this instead of mark. I'll do her numbers later. I don't even know if I'm gonna give her a full sheet, to be honest. To be honest, she is an NPC. She is an NPC. Anyway, so your drive is what your character is about with a capital A. About that life. The book has sample drives. I'm going to just very simply just defend the innocent. Defend the innocent. That's her drive. Her drive is to defend the innocent. And more particularly, the voiceless. I think she might have some grace that she knows that kind of helped her develop this philosophy. But again, she's an NPC. Here's a little storyteller tip for you guys if you ever want to run a game. Never spend more than an hour on an NPC. Don't do it. You will regret it. You have, as a storyteller, you got lots to do. You got to come up with a story. You got to come up with the whole world. Do not spend 8 hours on an NPC. Anyway, so your drive is what your magical girl is about with a capital A. I just put voiceless here because I thought that was an important part of her character. Again, she's not a PC, so I can just play her however I want. But that's her drive. That's what she's about with a capital A. Again, she's about this so hard that she's been in a small town for over a decade because she thinks people are in danger. People who she, like, never met before she got there. After all the other magical girls she was with, her friends left and were like, no, there's no danger here. So she believes in defending the innocent. Is it your drive that replaces integrity? Well, I think with rolling for drive, you can get more willpower. That's a mechanical thing. Don't worry about that. Your dread. What do you fear? Oh, this, for my people who play Chronicles of Darkness, your drive and your dread replaces your vices, your virtue and your vice. So your dread. What does she fear? She fears being useless. Your dread can be anything. You can say it's fire, you can say it's bugs, you can say it's drowning. It can also be something that's a little more incorporeal. It could be being useless. It could be, you know, losing a loved one. It could be all sorts of things. Embassy doesn't matter, but I'm just gonna put, I don't know, US. Again, the embassy are just the groups that like control certain parts of the world, or look after certain parts of the world, rather. Skills. So what you're gonna do with skills is you're just gonna decide your priorities. So you're gonna say, this is my first priority, this is my second priority, this is my third priority. If you don't understand the numbers, you do not need to do the numbers. We will deal with that. Merits. They're in Chronicles of Darkness. You don't need to do them right now. You're gonna have to decide later. That's in the Chronicles of Darkness source book. If you feel like being a totally based One Piece stan, you can get it on the internet pretty easily. Or you could buy it for like 20 bucks. Aspirations, oath, belief. So belief, this replaces our integrity. So this is integrity. Integrity. Start at 8. That's 8. That's the number, it's 8. Aspirations, what does your character want to do? Short term, long term. So of course, you know, we have things like save Sylvan Grove. Is your oaths the 1, 2, 3? Let me make sure. There were sample. Yes, they are. Okay. Making sure I'm right. Making sure I don't give you guys bad information. So, you know, she wants to save Sylvan Grove. Wider, she wants to defend the innocent. I think she wants to be vindicated. I think she wants to be proven right to all of her friends. I think that's something she wants. I don't know what else, and I'm gonna just keep going. So oaths. Princess, you have 3 oaths. I'm gonna do this over here and not on the sheet. You have 3 oaths. 3 of them. Let me make that a little bigger. 3 of them, okay? And they go in descending order of importance. So this is your most important, and this is your least important. 3, 2, 1. So your most important, this is going to be like the most integral to your character. This is typically an I'll never. So like for Blanche, it'd be like, I don't know. I never use violence for personal reasons. And that's for I never. That's a role at every... It's called belief in the system, but it's integrity. That's a role at every integrity level except for like 0. This is your core value. This is something that if you, in your, you know, in your chronicle, in your journey as a magical girl, in your chronicle of darkness, that you do, if you do it, bad. If you do it, you are like no longer the same person anymore. And then your second, let me make sure. So your second is something is an I must statement, which again, very integral. So like the example ones it gives here for the menders, let me just pull that up again. I must never exploit someone who needs my help. If I have to choose between risking my life or my patience, I will always risk mine first. If you're breaking your second oath, things have gone pretty wrong but it's not as bad as breaking your first oath. Let's see what the ones for champion are. I must always take an opportunity to save someone. I think that's going to be hers, actually. I must take the opportunity to save someone. I must always give my opponents the chance to surrender. I think that's an interesting one. I don't think that's for Blanche. I think she's a little too hard line for that. But that's a very interesting one. I must never kill unless I have no other option to defeat my opponent. Again, most levels of... It's belief, not integrity. It's belief, not integrity. It's belief, not integrity. At most levels of belief, you're gonna have to roll for this if you break it. And again, part of being a magical girl is being a hero and an idealist. And it's different from hunter in that, you know, you've got to be an idealist. That means you got to have ideals. So I'm going to say I must take the opportunity to save someone is going to be her number 2. I'm just going to put save someone because I don't have a lot of space here. I have a VOD. I'll remember this. I'll remember this. I have a whole VOD. I have a whole VOD. So your third oath, it's something that would be nice to do all the time. But it's not like the second or the first oath. So like, I should never lie is a third oath. I should never lie. If you lie, not the end of the world. You only would really roll for it if you're at like super high belief. Third oath. If my opponent calls for timeout assistance, I should always be improving myself. I'm actually gonna say I should never quit what I started. I think that's gonna be her third oath. I should never quit what I've started. Okay. So if you're a player, you should come up with oaths. Dread. You can ignore all this. This goes here. This goes here. You can ignore this. Second page. You can ignore the charms. Signets. Regalia is just like your different magical girl stuff. So if you want to like put the item and what it is, and we can figure out the bonus and the cost later, you can do that. So you're like, I want a giant pen. You could have a giant pen. And we will figure out what the giant pen does. Shikigami. In Princess the Hopeful, Shikigami, which are your little like mascot friends, they are per group. So because of that, once I have all my players, and once we get our session 0, we'll make our Shikigami together as a group. It'll be fun, I promise. So then, and this is the page I want you guys to do. It's this page. This page right here. Your history, what's your character's background? Description, your nationality, your date of birth, your age, blah, blah, blah. Your mundane appearance, your transformed appearance. And then for the character sketch, I've left a link to Picrew in the bottom if you want to draw your character that way. You will be getting VRoids of your mundane self and your transformed appearance. But if you don't really, you can describe it. If you want to, have a visual aid, you can make a little Picrew or something. But yeah, that's it. So that's kind of what I mean when I say I want you to have like a character in mind. If you know how to do the math and like you know the system and you want to do the system, you're a newly blossomed level 1 magical girl. Go crazy. I will not stop you. Belief, you can hold belief at 5 and then it comes 8 once you blossom if you want to do it that way. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you don't know anything about the system, you can just ignore that. So yeah, that's all the information. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you have any questions, if you have any character ideas, if you want to play, oh, you want to play so bad, ooh, you want to play, ooh, am I hypnotizing you, am I doing it? Please DM me. You can DM me on Tumblr, you can DM me on Twitter, you can DM me on Discord if you have my Discord. I don't know if you can DM me on YouTube, but if you can, you should. You can also comment below. What else? If you want like a more detailed video about like the system and like how Princess the Hopeful actually works, maybe one day. But honestly, today, as I've said a couple times, I'm feeling really sick. And I've streamed for an hour. I've said everything I want to say. It's 4 players, not 5. That's a little oopsie. Because I thought Warudo had 5 people as its group chat max. It doesn't, it has 4. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope you guys had a good time here. I hope to see you all again next time I stream.